Good evening everyone and welcome to the awards presentation for Irish Photo Rally 2021 and the launch of Irish Photo Rally 2022. My name is Tim and I'm going to be your host for the evening. Although evening is probably a bit of an exaggeration. This is obviously because we're doing this online this year. It's going to be a shorter affair than we normally would have. Again, this is the second year now we've had to do the online format, but can't be helped, so we're just going to get on with it and make the most of that. Related to that, just because we have done the awards presentation for this being the second year running online, we are hoping and planning towards possibly later this year, middle of the summer, to run some sort of an event just where we can all get together and start seeing each other face to face. Again, maybe as I said, middle of the summer when the weather is a bit more suitable for motorcycling, and if things continue to improve the way it looks like they are at the moment, then we'll be able to host something like that, no problem, later in the year, as I said. And then by this time next year, if things continue to improve, we'll be able to go back to normal and do this awards presentation face to face. So as I said, no definite plans or anything, just knocking around a few ideas at the moment for some event during the summer, and when it comes closer to the time, if it looks like it's all going to be able to happen, we'll let you know about that. Okay, so I'm just going to talk briefly about last year's event, 2021. First of all, we had 461 participants last year, so again that's another big jump up in numbers from the previous year. In fact, we've actually now more than doubled the number of participants compared to this time 5 years ago when we first started with the online system. And for those of you who wouldn't have known what was before the online system, in the past we had basically all the entries had to be sent in on paper. So as I said, we launched the online system 5 years ago, and as I said, we've more than doubled the numbers in the last 5 years. So we're really happy with the growth, and we think we put a lot of that down to the online presence and the just being on social media, just more people just hear about it. So it's gone to the stage where we've stopped actively trying to promote the event because it's grown at its own rate fast enough for us to try and keep on top of it. And with numbers growing, there's obviously more work involved. We are trying year on year, trying to introduce little changes to make things a bit more efficient for us running it, and just make it easier to handle the numbers, keep the things sustainable, because we just don't want the thing to become a victim of its own success where the numbers get so big that we can't handle it anymore. So as I said, we are trying to just make things more efficient to help us keep on top of the numbers as it grows from year to year. The favourite point for 2021 was the Donegal point, and 92 people picked Donegal as their favourite point. Kerry wasn't far behind, with 74 people picking Kerry as their favourite point. So obviously people like those more remote scenic places, off the beaten path. And on that, when you are filling out your application form, sending in your entry and picking your favourite point, and you write down your reason for your favourite point, I do read through all of those reasons myself, so that when I'm picking a list in future, that I know why people like a particular point, and I'm able to, as much as I can, try to pick similar points and give people what they want, as I'm picking lists in future. I'm going to pick out one of them, and I don't think he's going to mind me mentioning by name because I know Enda Carthy picked the Clonfin Memorial, which was the Longford Westmeath point last year. Enda picked that out as his favourite point, and the reason being his father actually designed the monument at the Clonfin point there in Longford Westmeath, and Enda himself helped draw the crossed guns on the monument for his father. So I just thought that was a really nice bit of information, kind of things coming full circle from Enda helping his father design the monument to a number of years later coming back and visiting it as part of the Irish Photo Rally. So I just thought that was a nice one and worth mentioning that. So as I've said, obviously the numbers have been growing a lot over the last few years, and obviously because of that means we have a lot of newer members joining and taking part. So I've decided I'm going to quickly talk through just how the whole event works and what it's about, because over the last 2 or 3 years there has been a little bit of confusion on some of the rules, people not too sure things, how they work, stuff like that, and it's just because we just assume people know it, because up to now it has always been word of mouth and people knew other people taking part, but it's just going the rate now where, as I said, just people aren't, I suppose, aware of how the whole thing works. So I'm just going to quickly run through what it's all about. So the first thing is, what's the purpose of Irish Photo Rally? Or what's it all about? Our main purpose, our main objective is just to get you out on your bike, riding around the country, seeing parts of Ireland that you may not otherwise visit or may not otherwise see if you were to do an Irish Photo Rally. So that's our main thing, is just get you out on the road, enjoying the bike, enjoying the country. Next obvious question is basically, how do you take part? First thing is, there's no pre-booking, there's no membership, no subscription, no, nothing like that has to be done. We often get that question at the start of the year, people asking how do they sign up or whatever. Taking part is as simple as getting a list of points, going to visit them on your bike and taking photos there. So the list of points, there's 24 points as we call them. Basically there's some kind of landmark or something that you can take a photograph of or with your bike at. 24 of them on the list, scattered all over the island of Ireland. And the list is released at the usually start of February. I'll be releasing the list for 2022 at the end of this video, and the deadline is usually first week in November. This year the deadline is the 2nd of November. So as a list of points is 24 points on the list. You must visit at least 12 of them to qualify for an entry. And you go there and you just take a photograph of your bike to prove you were there, basically. We have had sometimes people can't get to a point for a particular reason or can't get a photograph. Last year I know in Donegal there was a number of guys that went, and when they got there, the fog was down so heavy that you couldn't actually see the tower to take a photograph of it. So they just took a photograph of themselves at the school nearby, which was still only a few hundred metres away, but they just took the photograph to show where they were and that they'd made a genuine attempt to get there. We've also had it a few years ago where there was roadworks on the only road leading to a point, and a few people submitted photographs of their bike at the road closed sign. And again, they've made a genuine attempt to get there. We don't expect somebody from, for example, from West Cork to ride back up to Antrim or something to take another photograph on another day when when conditions favour or whatever. If someone makes a genuine intent, we're happy enough to give it to them. As I've said earlier, our main point is just to get you. Our main purpose is just to get you out and about on your bike, seeing the country. And if you've gotten within a kilometre or two of the point, we're happy enough that you're making a genuine attempt. Also, if you want to include a pillion in your entry, then your pillion must be visible in your photographs. So they need to, just so we can see that the person as obviously was with you when you visited on the bike. Also, the pillion must be a pillion. In other words, they must have travelled there on the bike. So if they're standing there with their best Sunday clothes or whatever it is, it's pretty obvious they didn't travel on a bike, which means they're not a pillion, which means it doesn't qualify for a pillion entry. We're often asked as well, people say, I've got whatever number of bikes, is it okay if I use more than one to go to the points? The answer is yes. You can use any number of bikes, we don't really care, just as long as you get out there, get to the points and visit them on your bike and take a photograph. That's all we care about. Also, for the bikes visiting the points, we do have a certain number of kind of set awards each year, likes of the oldest bike used or the smallest bike used or whatever. To qualify for that award, the bike must visit at least 12 points. So if you've got your special edition 1cc motorbike and you take it 200 or 300 metres down the road and visit the nearest point to you, and you use your 1200 GS or whatever for the rest of it, doesn't count. Okay, you need to visit at least 12 points with that bike for it to qualify for those awards. So when you've visited whatever number of points you're going to visit, as it has to be a minimum of 12, but when you've visited them, taking your photographs, then obviously you have to submit your entry before the deadline, and has to be before the deadline. Surfer basically just shuts down and late entries can't be got. It happens every year. Get a few people sending us emails or messages or whatever, asking if say they just missed the deadline or whatever. Nothing we can do about it. Basically, when I was programming, the server deliberately wrote it in such a way that it can't be restarted once it's stopped. Okay, so if you miss the deadline, that's it. There's no late entries. You've had 9 months anyway to do it from the release of the list to submit your entry. An extra day or two isn't going to make a difference. If you're late, you're late. So as you go through, you submit your entry. The entry system, I should say, when you were submitting your entry, you do it by going to our website, irishphotorally.ie, and you go to the submit entry section of the website. It's pretty self-explanatory. Also, the website and the online system for submitting your entry, it's pretty straightforward. To talk to you step by step through what you need to do. There's an application form at the start where you fill in your details, your bike, your pillion's details if you have one, and then you just go on and upload your photographs. And the last thing you do is you submit your fee that goes through PayPal. And I just want to make a point here for everybody. When you are submitting your entry, when you hit the pay button, you're redirected to PayPal. You put in your PayPal details, or you can pay by credit card, whatever way you want to do it there on the PayPal website. But after you click the payment, you should be redirected back to the Irish Photo Rally website with the confirmation page, and that confirmation page has a reference number on it. If you don't get that confirmation page, you don't get that reference number, then it means your entry hasn't been saved. It's a bit of a glitch, I think, in the way PayPal redirects things. Certain browsers, particularly out-of-date browsers, don't redirect back properly. And we have had 3 or 4 people every year contact us to say that their payment came out of their account but their entry never happened, and that's the reason for that. So you need to make sure when you submit your entry and when you've paid your payment that you get that confirmation number off the website, and that's also emailed to you. Generally you'll get it a couple of minutes after you submit your entry, and if you haven't got that, if that hasn't happened, it means your entry hasn't been saved. So you need to email us or send us a message on Facebook, whatever, something like that. Just make contact with us and we'll help you sort it out. Also, when you're submitting your entry, you will see an option there to submit a paper entry. There's an extra fee involved with that just to cover the cost of handling the paper entries. And I just want to clarify on that, because there has been a little bit of confusion about this over the last couple of years. This is kind of a legacy thing from back in the days when all of the entries were printed albums that were posted to the organisers. And we still allow it, not mandatory anymore, but we still allow people to send us paper albums if they wish for the judges to look through. So as there has been a little bit of confusion, people thought it was that they were getting their photos printed or something. It's not. It's you are sending a printed version of your photos to us for judging. So that's what the paper album option is when you're submitting your entry. So when the deadline is passed, all the entries are in, then the next stage is the judges start to look through the entries. We don't have a fixed panel of judges. We basically rope in people each year. Sometimes the same people are on, sometimes it's not. Varies a little bit just depending on who's available. And so you will notice some years certain things will apply to some people, to the judges, other years they won't. It just depends on who the judges are. We do keep it, I suppose, secret to a certain extent who the judges are, just so there's no bribing or any of that going on. Also, I'm not a judge because I'm not particularly artistic, and I think it's only fair that people submitting photographs, obviously photographs being judged require some sort of artistic competence, which I don't have. So we, as a enroll people who do know what they're looking at when they're looking at photographs. On that, the judges, just going by the numbers of last year, so we had 461 entries, as I said, or participants, as I said, and just doing rough maths on it of the minimum requirements for the different entry numbers, the different amount of badges and stuff. We're approximately 9,000, not even approximately, minimum of 9,654 photographs that the judges had to look through. So that's basically pushing for 10,000 photographs that each judge has to look through. So it's a lot of work, a lot of photos to go through. And again, I want to say thanks to the judges who give up their time and basically voluntarily assist us with that part of running the event. Also, I go through those photographs myself for administrative purposes. I have to go through all the entries, check that they all qualify and all of that. And I will say, having gone through it, there's a lot of really good stuff in there, and I would not like the job of trying to pick a certain small number of entries out for awards out of 10,000 photographs. It's a really, really tough job. And as I said, I don't envy the task of the judges. So the types of awards, I mentioned awards there a good few times. The awards, first of all, there's no monetary value on the awards. Okay, the awards are just they're just a token to acknowledge what you've done. And the type of awards, it can be whatever catches the judge's attention or whatever takes their interest. As I said, that varies from year to year depending on who is judging. It can be a well-taken photograph, it can be something you've captured in your photograph. It can be just something that makes them smile, something they like, whatever. Just whatever catches their fancy. It's very variable and very flexible from year to year. So basically all of that happens in the kind of the off season. After the deadline, that's when I suppose we get busy behind the scenes organising, getting the badges. Which reminds me, that's something I should have mentioned. When you do submit your entry, what you're getting is you're getting a little badge to acknowledge that you've completed the photo rally for a particular year. If you visit a minimum of 12 points, which is the minimum requirement to enter, then you get a bronze badge. If you visit 18 points, you get a silver badge, and if you visit all 24 points, you get a gold badge. Okay, so that's what you get for completing your entry and submitting it to us. So that's what you get. So as I said, on the off season, we'll call it, during the winter, the judging goes on, the awards are made up, the badges are ordered, all of that kind of stuff. And normally what we would do is then this time of year, we'll say this event that obviously is online this evening, but would normally be in a physical venue. We would meet up at a location, have a meal, give out the badges to people, do the awards, and it's usually it's a nice event where we call out the awards, and person comes up, collect their award, go back down, people clap and all of that, and it's usually it's a nice evening. And but this, because it's online and there's no direct interaction between me announcing the awards and the people here that are watching this evening, it is going to be pretty brief, pretty quick, and maybe not as dignified as it normally would be. It's basically just going to be me reading out a list of names and awards. Okay, so we're just going to move on to that. Speaking of which, going to go on to the awards presentation. So the first award, as I mentioned them earlier, we have a kind of set number of awards that we kind of give out the same ones every year. So we'll start with them and then move on to the others. So the first award I'm going to be giving out for 2021 is the Oldest Rider Award, and that goes to Jim Miskelly. I'm not going to mention Jim's name, don't know if he'd be happy or not if I did, but as I said, Oldest Rider Award goes to Jim Miskelly. The next award is the Youngest Rider Award, and that goes to Ryan Corcoran. Ryan, I'm sure won't mind me mentioning that he is 18 years old, and Ryan, I know, was our youngest rider last year, possibly the year before as well. I'm not too sure, can't remember exactly, but he was definitely our youngest rider as well last year. Our youngest participant is Ruby Cunningham. Again, Ruby's 9. Okay, and this is, I think, possibly Ruby's 3rd year in a row being our youngest participant. And just to clarify, the youngest participant generally includes, obviously would include opinions. Then we're going to go on to the Oldest Bike Award, and that goes to Martin Walker with his 1959 Libretta. And then we're going to, we actually have a joint award for the smallest bike this year. We've got Ryan Corcoran again on his 125, his Suzuki GSX S125, and the other award for the smallest bike goes to Chris McGaffin on his Honda Monkey bike. So then the next award is the Miles of Smiles Award, and that goes to Jennifer Carl. And as the name suggests, in pretty much all of her photos, Jennifer has a big smile on her face. You can just see she's really enjoying being out and about. So that's the Miles of Smiles Award. The Family Fun Award goes to John and Lily O'Sullivan. So again, you can just see in their photos, you can see they're out having fun on the bike. And it's really nice set of photos. The next award is the Happy Couple Award, and that goes to Warren Elburn and Samantha Hall. And again, basically in their photos, happy couple, basically in all of their photos, they're in the photos themselves and smiling ear to ear, and you can just see, having a good time together out on their bike. Next award is the Nice Narrative Award, and that goes to John Connor. That was something that came in with the paper albums that I mentioned earlier, and I'm going to ask John's permission after this to publish the little story that he sent in with his paper album. Short little story just about how he got involved in the Irish Photo Rally last year, and basically the days out that he had and the events. And it's not very long, but it's a nice little read. So I will ask John if I can share that maybe on Facebook next week or whatever, just with his permission. And the next award is the Monkeying Around Award, and that goes to Chris McGaffin for his photo here monkeying around in Kerry. Then there's the next award is the Night Rider Award, and that goes to Gareth Smith. I don't know why, but a large majority of Gareth's photos, he seems to have turned up at photo rally points at night, and basically had used his flash to take photographs of his bike in the dark. So that's the Night Rider Award. Next award is the Proper Picnic Picture Award, and that goes to Philip Grant. So we often get, or I won't say often, but we sometimes get photographs where people are having a bit of a picnic at a photo point, and it'll be tinfoil sandwiches, or sorry, not tinfoil sandwiches though, sandwiches wrapped up in a bit of tinfoil. But Philip went all out here, none of that tinfoil for him. He had the tea towel, the ceramic mug, the glass jar with the tea bags in it, proper picnic. So there when he was at the Clare Point in Labashida. So next award is the Smiling in the Face of Adversity Award, and that goes to Ray Murphy for his photo in Donegal. And as the name suggests, you'll see here in the photo that it looks like the weather is absolutely miserable. Rain is running down the road under his feet. He's pouring wet, but he still has a smile on under the helmet, and he's giving us a thumbs up. So still, regardless of how bad the weather is, he's smiling in the face of adversity. Next award is the Spirit of the Irish Photo Rally Award, and that goes to Neil Lawless and Sandra Hanratty. Okay, again, just the Spirit of the Photo Rally. You can see in all their photos, they're out and about, sometimes just the two of them, sometimes with friends, and just out and about. You can just see they're having good fun when they're at the points, and that is the whole point of the Irish Photo Rally. The whole spirit of the thing is that you're getting out there on your bike and having fun. The next award is the Big Sky Award, and that goes to Garrett O'Carroll for this lovely photograph of the sky here in Galway. Then we have the Silk Purse Award, okay, and that goes to Leo Connolly for his photo here in Wexford. Now the Wexford point was the hardest point, I think, last year to get a decent photograph of. There was just a lot of clutter. There's some sort of garage, I think, across the road, or some kind of galvanized or corrugated iron building across the road, and there was a few telephone poles and stuff like that are just not very photogenic. But Leo managed to get an angle there which made the thing actually look decent. He got in the monument, the grass across the road, you can see the horses there in the distance. So lovely job basically making a silk purse out of a sow's ear. Next award is the Crap Photo Award, and that goes to Brendan Byrne for his crap photo in Tipperary. Then we have the Best Landscape Photo Award, and that goes to Colm Kavanagh for his photograph here in Kerry capturing the landscape. We have the Best Selfie Award for Tig McCauley in Wexford. Next one is the Best Action Shot Award, and that goes to Timothy Comerford for his photo here in Kilkenny. Then we have the Best Night Shot Award, and that goes to Kevin Brooker for his photo here in Wexford. We often get, or regularly get, photos where people have turned up late at a point and they have to do as best they can, use the flash or use the headlight of the bike or whatever to get some bit of a photo to show where they were. But Kevin managed to make a really decent job of this night shot, using the street light and even the moon there in the background. So lovely night shot there from Kevin. Next award is the Future Potential Award, and that goes to Niall Punch. So Niall has some lovely photographs in his album, and I think one to watch in future years, for basically, as the award suggests, the Future Potential Award. So next award is, I think, a very special award because it's an award that nobody else is ever going to be able to get, because it's the Founder Award, and that goes to Eamon Morrissey, who founded Irish Photo Rally in 1974. Eamon, as far as I know, at least since I got involved in running Irish Photo Rally, I think this is Eamon's first time back in a few years taking part in the Irish Photo Rally. And as I said, Eamon started the first photo rally in 1974. Basically, none of us would be here doing this event if it wasn't for Eamon. So I think it's great to see Eamon, all these years later, still involved in the event. So that's the Founder Award for Eamon Morrissey. So we're pushing on now towards the coming closer to the end, the bigger awards, let's say. The next three awards are the Commended Photo Awards, in no particular order. Okay, just three photos that were commendable, basically picked out by the judges. The first one goes to Tony Callanan for his photo here in Donegal. Lovely photo there. Next one is Martin Walker, okay, for his photo in Derry. And if I remember correctly, or I think I saw a photo from Martin on Facebook there a while back. I think Martin also got an award from the BMW Club Ulster section for submitting this photo of that photo rally as well. And the next commended photo is Mervyn Murphy for his photo here in Kilkenny. So then we go on to the three commended albums. Again, no particular order, just three albums picked out by the judges. And the first one is Billy Redmond. Billy always submits a very nice album. I think he's been rattling around in the awards for a number of years now. Next is Charles Collin. Again, another nice, lovely album, and is always up there, I think, near the top, Charles is. And the third commended album is Tomasz Koniszewski. I hope I've said that right, Thomas. And again, I know Thomas has had a couple of nice albums over the last few years, and I think he was our best album last year or possibly the year before, I can't remember, but I know he's definitely gotten our overall best album award not too long ago. So on the final countdown coming down, so we've got the best album. Third place goes to James Scallon. Okay, and again, James is always up there at the top. Again, the last few years he has featured in the awards, always submits a very nice album. And we're on to the best album. Second place, and that goes to Dennis Crowley for another album with a lovely set of photographs. And we're up now to the final two awards, the two main awards, which would be the best album and the best photograph award. There are usually our two big awards for the year. And the overall best photograph goes to Glyn Cutcliffe for his lovely photograph here in Derry. Okay, just capturing, framing the whole photograph there with the hedge. Really nice job on that. And our final overall best album goes to John McQuillan. I mentioned earlier about the reading through the reasons for favourite points, and I saw in John's answer he mentioned somehow about waiting at the Stormont Gates for about an hour and a half for the lights to come on. So you can see there obviously the results of that. Not an accident that John turned up and got a lovely photograph there. Obviously put a lot of work into that photograph, and the rest of his album is equally beautiful. So great work there by John. So those are all the awards for 2021, and the final order, or last order of business for this evening, is to release the list for Irish Photo Rally 2022. So I'm going to, that's going to be available on our website in, I think it's around 10 o'clock this evening. It's going to be going live, but it'll definitely be up as it on this evening. The list of points will be there visible on the website. Again, it's irishphotorally.ie. If you go to the map page, you'll see a map with the points listed out, and below that a list of descriptions and coordinates. And you can also download a GPX file from the website with all the points on it, and there's a printable version of the map there as well. So I am going to display the list, the new list, on the screen here in a moment, and talk you through them, just to give people a chance to take screenshots or write them down or whatever it is they want to do. But again, as I said, there's no need because it will be on the website shortly. And finally, the list of points for Irish Photo Rally 2022. The Donegal point is Laurentic Gun at Downings Pier. The Derry point is Ballydevitt Cottage, 1 kilometre northeast of Ahadowie Presbyterian Church. Antrim is Dalway's Bawn, 6 kilometres northeast of Carrickfergus. Down Armagh is Dromara Destroyers Road Racers at Dromara Playground. Cavan Monaghan is Water Pump Post Office, 5 kilometres northeast of Carrickmacross. For Fermanagh Tyrone, the Lady with the Golden Hair in Pomeroy. Longford Westmeath is St Nicholas Church, 7 kilometres northeast of Ballymore. Louthmead, Rathaldron Castle Gate, 3 kilometres northwest of Navan. Dublin Kildare, Connolly's Folly, 3 kilometres southeast of Maynooth. Wicklow, the Church of the Ascension, 7 kilometres southwest of Dunlavin. Wexford, Port Loriga, 2 kilometres northeast of Salt Mills. Carlow Kilkenny, Barracore Mill, 2 kilometres north of Gore's Bridge. Laois Offaly, Wesleyan Chapel, 5 kilometres southwest of Rosenallis. I'm not sure a lot of these place names, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing them correctly. The Clare point is Pat MacDonald, 3 kilometres northwest of Doonbeg. Limerick is Axel Foley at Robert Byrne Park. Tipperary is the Ballincurry Hare in the Commons. Waterford is Limekillen at Stradbally Cove. Cork is Michael Collins in Ballinablaw. Kerry is Mick O'Dwyer at Waterville. Mayo is Johnny Kilban, 5 kilometres south of Achill Sound. Sligo is Landlord Oppression, Monasterraden. Leitrim is Baltimore, 1 kilometre southeast of Bornacoola. Roscommon is Jerry O'Malley in Brideswell. And the Galway point for 2022 is Mike Flaherty, northeast of Loch Arula. I should also at this point mention our sister event, the photo rally run by the BMW Club Ulster section. So they run a photo rally every year as well, with 9 points for the 9 counties of Ulster, and 6 of those points are the 6 points from the Irish Photo Rally Ulster list. And so if you want to complete both photo rallies, you only have 3 extra points to visit, and you will have completed the full 9 points as well for the BMW Club Ulster Section Photo Rally. And you can find the details of their event on their website, and we have a link from from the Irish Photo Rally website on the homepage. There's a link to the details of that photo rally, so you can find that there as well. Okay, so that's it for our awards presentation for this year. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll hopefully, as I said, hopefully get a chance to see you possibly out on the road, out and about at photo rally points, possibly later in the year during the summer, if we manage to organise an event, and if not, then this time next year at the awards presentation. So again, thanks everybody, and enjoy the rest of your evening.